What it do, what it do, what it do, what it do, what it do. It is I, it is me, it is your boy. It is raining out here in the D. And here's the thing about when it rains. You're always happy when it rains. So it's like, it feels good. It's good sleeping weather. Or good cuddling weather by yourself or with your significant other. The only problem when it rains in Atlanta is people out here being crash test dummies. People be out here being crash test dummies when it rains. Meaning, you're like, yo, bro, it's raining. Whoa, go speed racer, go speed racer, go. Folks don't care. They still be out there cranking it to the max. To the max. Even in the rain. And you be like, bro, I mean, I feel like that's a problem in a lot of cities. I don't know where you are. Maybe in metro cities it's a problem because everybody's in a hustle and bustle to get somewhere. Maybe it's not a problem like that in New York. I feel like it probably could be because people probably speed like on the tolls because the tolls are like $8 out there, or like $4 or $5. I know they're not cheap. They're not for the weak hearted. They're expensive. So with that being said, it's just like you hate it. And I know hate is a strong word. I don't really like to say it because I like to say dislike. But I say hate because when people speed on the highway when it's raining, it causes accidents. It causes people to get hurt. It causes people to, bad things that happen to good people. And that's what you don't want. Crazy enough, I remember one year in Atlanta, I was riding with someone, and I remember, I think I was either riding passenger or I was driving their car. And I was either like, I can't remember it. So, but that didn't really matter if I was driving or not. But I remember we was in the slow lane, it was raining. And I was just like, man, we're going back to my townhouse. And we're going back to my townhouse. Needless to say, my townhouse was $734 at the time, which was a deal, $367 a piece, which was a deal, which was a steal. The Lord has blessed me to have abundance and deals. So that's what I'm saying, man. That's why I should not have faith. I should not have faith when it comes to houses, because the Lord has continuously, through my lifetime, blessed me with an apartment or a townhouse that has been a great deal. And when it comes to finding a house or renting a house or buying a house or any kind of house or a townhouse or anything, the Lord's going to continue to keep giving me great deals, a place to live. So I just got to continue to trust them and have faith, but you don't realize that when you're not really in the faith back then like you are now. So you kind of see things and start realizing the Lord has been very much behind the scenes orchestrating and looking out for your best benefit. So anyways, back to the story. So I'm driving or I'm riding, and I think we're in the passenger side of the fast lane. He was literally going that fast. And I looked over. He got stuck there. Not Lexus. I think he was a Lexus too. So I was just like, now look at you. Stuck over there in the grass. Screwed. But it could have been worse. I remember First Lady told me, I think, was it raining? I don't think it was raining. I think someone was just driving fast and they ended up calling it a big old commotion accident. So you just really got to be careful in the rain. You got to really drive slow. There's no rush. Take your time. the things that you learn, in driver's ed class. If you don't remember driver's ed class, I know some of y'all been driving longer than, Mother Teresa was alive or whatever. So you might not remember driver's ed class, or you've been driving longer than, NFL. There's no point in speeding when you're late. Because when you speed and you're late, nothing good ever comes. Wild decisions, making wild turns. You start driving wild and erratic. You start doing things you normally wouldn't do, and in return, it can cause you put yourself in a worse situation to be in an accident. So sometimes it's not even worth it to speed when you're late. It's better for you to just be like, I'm late. Because sometimes I've seen people be late, speed, and then all of a sudden get in an accident, wreck their car, make it worse, get a ticket, whatever it may be. So I think about all that right now while I'm driving, while we're on the ride to work, Trap Chronicles, and it's raining right now. This job, I don't even sit by a window. I got a cubicle because I can't see nothing. I'm not gonna worry myself, bother myself about if I don't get it. It just is what it is. I just get it as I go. I think it's very important that you can tell yourself not to get your job bothering you. You get mad at yourself. You're the type of person who wants to do well. You're not given the right tools to do well. You can't get mad at yourself and tell me, oh, it is what it is. No, you gotta try to do the best you can do. Because when you start getting mad at yourself and not having the management or understanding, it can spring off aggravation and things like that. So I'm not getting the bag, and then you got me doing more work with more stress. Oh no, man. Oh no, man. That ain't good. That ain't good at all. Cause I'm be honest with y'all, man. Like right before this whole inflation and all this other stuff started going on with the economy, EB was up there making good 6 figures. Even through the inflation thing, I was making 6 figures. Then all of a sudden, they started having budget cuts. Got laid off for 1 gig. Got another gig. Had another gig. Got laid off from that one. Then I ended up getting 2 gigs. Got laid off from both of them. And it was just like up and down. Then I finally got another gig, and then it's just been a catch-up moment to get back to where I used to be. And it's crazy. And it's just made me realize, like, it's to make sure that when I talk to my daughter, to show the importance of having your own business, aggravation that comes with the stress. When you start getting other jobs that are safe and secure, you just have to go in, put your work in, and fake. Those jobs, you think they're going to be easy, but sometimes those jobs have more stress. Everything else is not clicking. Or they want you to be here for 4 years, 3 years, 2 years, and you can move up in the ladder. Yeah. You talk to other people. See, you ever want to know how your company really get down? Talk to people who've been there, and they'll tell you how you really get down. Because anybody will sell you on something. But the people who've been there, they'll tell you like, nah, man, I've been here 2.5 years. They told me that same thing. So if someone's been there longer than you and they told them that, you'd be like, well, that's different from them. I'll get companies usually have a tendency. If they treat them like that, they're most likely to treat you like that. Unless you like a founder's daughter or a niece or know somebody on the board or whatever. Companies have a tendency to follow the same path. You would think, no, businesses, I've seen it done multiple times. Where you have the mindset like, no, they won't do it. And then they'll be like, what happened? They did me the same way. But if you have a company that takes care of you, they're like, hey man, I was here for a year. They told me I was going to get this. Then you know. That's the thing about companies, let me understand. Your employees going to speak more and tell the truth about how you want to do employees. More than what you going to say. Because people that are already promoted, they're up high, they always say, yeah man, this is a good company, man. You know, you can do well. Promoted. You know what I'm saying? You ain't going to tell me how you got promoted, or depending on where you work. This is another thing that make a big difference. Depending on how you work or where you work, if your company doesn't have a lot of diversity, first thing you're going to say is, oh, you probably got it because you part of the club, good old boys club, or that's your boy over there, that's so-and-so. Especially if there's not a lot of diversity in the leadership. That's the first thing that any minority going to think. They're going to be like, yeah, it's a good company. They're going to tell you this, and then usually a minority, you're going to be like, it's a good company, people getting promoted. Why that many other minorities in director spots or in VP spots? You know, this is the first thing that you're going to think. Because as a minority, we've been tuned in and trained by corporate America to spot these type of things, because we're so used to putting in hours of work, doing what's needed, and then still getting the back end, still not getting the recognition, still getting screwed, whatever it may be. I had to call them back probably later on this evening. This is my morning time. And I know they're calling for it. They want to call me and ask me once again, hey, Eric, you gonna do something with your bank? And I told them to call me back. But anyways, so you're used to that. You're used to seeing people put in the work and then not get the recognition. So it's always good, like, to see other minorities in power, and not even power, but in positions that show that you can move up. Because when you don't see it, you're like, yeah, there ain't no hope of moving up here. They ain't gonna promote nobody, no matter how good you do. You won't get moved up. You'll just be somebody here, maybe getting a little bit more, but you won't get that pot. That's why people don't realize, why companies don't realize it. Like, your employees and what you see gonna speak more than what they telling you. So when someone tell me, yeah, this is a good company, I'm moving up, I'll be like, you're saying that, but you probably good old boys club. Like, did you move up because you was good, or did you know somebody? And then if it's so good, why are the other minorities moving up? You know, what's going on with that? Why has that not happened? You know, it's just the type of question you ask yourself. So from there, after they tell you that, you're like, oh, okay. I know you just saying that to keep me around because it may help with the workload or whatever. So then you go ask somebody, this ain't it, man. This ain't it. They don't pay you enough. I've known the job to take care of so and so. Yeah, but you've known that while you were in the field. Corporate is a whole different monster. Different rules and processes. Everybody don't function on the same rules. Some people function on their own rules, man. Some people can break the rules and get the other way. Other people, you do your thing, no, you have to go home. It's all about the breakability. And I tell my partners this all the time, those that learn from my stories. I realize there for some of us, breakability is a real thing. Just going through so much transition, and I was being still kept around because of likability. I would always fill in. I was always going to do this because my whole thing was I could have took on more work, but I didn't want to take on more work because I wasn't interested in getting paid more. I was interested in learning more. The rest of it could have went last. There are some times you want to learn more, get involved in what I'm doing in a whole new department. Because learning more involves you helping out in other departments, learning about ShipStation, learning about who does this, learning about pricing, learning about orders, learning about influencers. Oh yeah, your department, your company, oh yeah, you know they pay the most. You ain't got time to learn about influencers. You ain't got time to learn about influencer platforms. You ain't got time to develop relations with these people. You're too busy trying to get to the bag. You get to the bag in your career or your department now that you got to be spending all your time getting sales, getting this, getting whatever, getting to be the best. For me, I told myself kind of like I had the 50 Cent, like when I worked at my last startup gig, I used to listen to the 50 Cent book, 50 Laws of Power, and then he had the other one, the recent one, I forgot the name. But the 50 Laws of Power, I took that into consideration. I took that as, all right, this is what I need to do. 50 in the book, if you haven't read it, go read the 50 Laws of Power. In the book he discussed, he said, hey man, I got on with the label, but I knew at the label there could only be so many artists that could hit. So many artists that could do this. So I was like, I gotta figure out a way to separate myself. He was like, so how can I do that? So what he used to do was call a lot of rappers, spend during the day, go to the studios, sit there, record songs or do whatever outrageous. Mess around with it. He said, I want to go to the label during the day and learn the ins and outs of how to run your own label so that I'll know what I need to know by the time for me to run my own label, doing promotion, doing marketing. So he said during the day you should just sit up at the label, talk to people, develop relationships with people, learn from different departments. This is how it works. This is how I know about this. This is how I get, talk shop. That's how he was able to learn so much. If you ever listen to the interviews, that's how you know about this and that and about the budget on this person's stuff and that. They tell you about other people's stuff. And then at nighttime, he spent all his time writing and creating music. But he also knew that you had to have the stamina. Because a lot of times a lot of artists think they know what to hit. They don't have the stamina, so that's why he created the stamina at nighttime. He go to the studio and just pound out songs. Even when he didn't feel like, he just pounded out. Because now his brain is constantly increasing his penmanship work so that he's able to make more songs. So that when the label sent him and a whole bunch of artists up to New York State to write songs for an album or for a soundtrack, a lot of artists came back with 4 or 5 songs. doing this, treating it like a job, treating it like, all right, I know that if I'm gonna be successful, I got to do this. I know if I'm gonna be successful, this is how I gotta do it to be successful. And that's how once I heard him say all that, I was like, yo, this is how I gotta treat this position. This is a startup. I'm able to talk to a lot of departments. This is how it was when I went to Coke and Monster. You're able to see everybody because you're in the field, or you don't get to roam around like you want. I was like, this is my record label. This is what I got to do. So I told myself at some point after year one, when they delayed my bonus, my raise, like I was told, and then COVID happened, and then they delayed it. And finally, when it was time, it was too late because I'd been shuffled around. By that time, when they finally did get to me about raises, it was 2 years later, and by that time, I had already made up my decision in the first year after a couple of weeks where I was like, we're not gonna talk about it. I was like, okay, then fine. So by that time, after the first year, when I realized that I wasn't gonna get my raise, I said to myself, I'm gonna treat this like 50 did when he was learning the shop. I'm gonna treat this as my CPG 101. So what I did was I used to sit, do my job, and go talk to other people at different departments. Someone in shipping, Amazon girl, the Amazon young lady, the influencer, the sales, learn about the marketing, learn about who we use for marketing, learn about the agencies we use, learn about this, just learn about doing rebates, learn about this, that's all I used to spend. I told myself I have to make sure that when I leave here to start my own thing, that I'm knowledgeable enough that when I talk to people, I know what's going on. I know what's going on to the point where I can make great decisions with my money. I can make sure I don't lose money on bags. I can make sure that I don't lose money on this. Understanding where to get the proper products. Understanding the proper people to hire. Understanding what kind of people to hire. That's what a lot of times evaluating. You know what I'm saying? I took that as my CPG 101. So because I did that, I essentially told myself, I'm not gonna worry about getting a raise. I'm just gonna worry about just doing my job. I need to learn, and learning from different people, learning about different stores, learning about 7-Eleven, learning about the stores you want to go into, learning about chargebacks, learning about how different people operate. Just learning on a basis where they got the expert or someone that I can touch with different things to build my brand. That's kind of really the way I look at it. Like, prime example, if I'm a premium product, I would never want to go into Walmart first. So no, if I'm a premium product, I need to be shooting for like Sprouts, Whole Foods, Trader Joe's, places where people have higher incomes that are going to be willing to pay for that. Because I know that Walmart is ELP, everyday low price, so they're going to want to get the low price for all their customers. And because I'm a premium product, and that's not where I need to be, I don't need to be shooting for over there. So why go over there and lower my price or lower what we're making to give it to them to try to meet Walmart customers who might not even be willing to pay that? But if that same customer that I know is a premium sees me at Sprouts, they're going to be willing to pay that because that's Sprouts. And people are going Sprouts, they're willing to pay for extra stuff or pay a premium price because they want to be healthy. So it's understanding the mindset, understanding Nelson, understanding scales, understanding Cunning, analytics, understanding just doing databases, understanding website, understanding television, understanding different programs, and made myself completely knowledgeable about what's going on in the CPG industry today and who I need to be. So that's how I created Mudslinging. For the most part, that's exactly how I created it once I took that decision. Now, don't get me wrong, it would have been great if they got paid more. But the experience that I learned will allow me to eventually get paid more and allow me to, get different things. Because of that experience, I've been able to get different jobs, been able to understand stuff, EDI, all kind of stuff, you know what I mean? So it's definitely the type of thing that you got to be willing to put in is the same thing with any understanding of in the beginning. I was working for a shipper, learning about boats. And he told himself, man, I'm going to start my own thing. I'm going to start my own boat line. So the person he was working for, he he transformed his mind and realized that this isn't a job no more. This is an apprenticeship. I need to learn everything I need to learn about boats so that when I leave here, I go get my own boat, start my own boating, and go from there. And sure enough, he left there, borrowed $100 from his mom, started his boat, and boom. The rest is history. Now he's known as the commander. His nickname's the commander. He started Vanderbilt University and all that stuff. So he had the job, learning about boats, learning about shipping, learning about all that. He had it as a job he didn't want to do. But once he settled in his mind that this was going to be the career path that he wants to start in, the entrepreneurship path that he wanted to start in, that's when he was able to turn his mindset and flip the switch to be like, this is no longer just a job. This is an apprenticeship. And once he was able to flip that switch and realize that everything at the job wasn't just about getting by, it was about learning, understanding the craft, making sure you ask questions so that when you leave this place, you know exactly what to do if you see a boat. You know exactly what to do, how many passengers you need to pick up to make a profit. You know exactly how much you need to charge. You know the routes you need to go, all those different things. So I say all that to say to you is wherever you're working, you know you don't want to be there. You know you're destined for greatness. You know you're destined to do more. You know you're destined to do more things. And if you're saying to yourself, Eric, how do I know? Well, in the words of Steve Harvey, and he said it one time, if you're ever at your job and you say to yourself, you know something, I could do this better, or I know more than him, or this ain't even right, I would do it this way. Yes, then you're destined to do your own thing. Because most times people who say those type of comments know they can do it a better way, and they usually start their own business. The average person, when they go to a job and they see something that's not right or not wrong, they usually say, that's crazy. Yeah, I wonder if they ever try doing this method better for the company. Oh, they see something, oh, okay. Oh, okay. They're not thinking, I could do it better. Or if I had a business, I would do it like that. They're not saying that type of stuff. They were like, we should probably do it like this for the company. Or they'd be like, oh, okay, or they go along with it. They don't have that mindset to think, I can do this better than what they're doing. Or I can use this. Or we should use this to do this. A lot of people don't have that. But if you have those thoughts, you say those things out loud, then you know you have it in you for the greatness. But you already have greatness in you, but for the greatness of being an entrepreneur. So I say all that to say, you know, you got to get your mind clicked. You got to click that switch, turn that job, look at that job no longer as a job, but as an apprenticeship. And some of y'all might be like, aren't you doing that for your position now, looking at it as an apprenticeship? No, I'm looking at it more like learning what I need to learn to take over to the next. Every other CP job has been an apprenticeship because that's the field I want to get in. That's the field I want to go to. So to be like, all right, know what's going on better, project management wise, get better skills talking to clients, things like that. But when I'm working at CPG, anything that's related, it's an apprenticeship for me to get to know what I need to know. I can use this so that I can transform my dreams, my goals, and make them even bigger than what they are now. It's crazy when you get a chance to make the 50 million in an hour and you realize you said Robert Greene. If you get the audiobook's good too. I read the book and have the audiobook. I have the audiobook on my phone. It's like one of the very few books. I have that one and another one on my phone. It's very few. I keep it on my phone, but that's just so many good chapters. It's like he takes it and he equates it to real world activities, like turning crap into sugar, being self-reliant, you know. It's just things that you need to hear when you're out here on your journey to being the boss that you are, to climbing the ladder that you are, whatever you decide. It's things that you need to hear to be like, so-and-so went through this and this was me. You know, Warren Buffett has a saying, you go read history, you'll find out that history repeats itself. So you go read history, you'll find out that history repeats itself in so many ways. The names have changed, the faces have changed, but the situations are the same. Always remember that. Always remember that. So that's why a lot of times I just feel like you can learn a lot from a book or audio book, and if you just listen to it and be willing to see how it applies. Like when I listen to books, I always be like, how does it apply to my situation? Because that allows me to grasp the book in a way where I'm comparing it to something that I'm going through, and I'm able to be like, okay. Yeah, I need to do this. I need to do that. Okay. Cool. I can do that. This will work for this. You know what I mean? Because when you do it like that, then you always have the mindset of, all right, I'm taking this information in, not as a person that's just, oh, this is good. I'm taking the information as in, oh, this compares to that scenario that I have with my coworker. This compares to my supervisor, my boss trying to undercut me. Okay. This compares to what I need to do if I have an adversary. You know what I'm saying? Like different things like that. You learn it and you're able to compare it. Like they have a chapter in the 50 Cent book. It's called Knowing When to Be Bad. And it discusses like, hey, you should know when to be sly and you should know when to be bad. You should know when to be sly like the fox or be bad like the bear. You know what I'm saying? You got to know when to be bad. And they also discuss that a lot of times when people are bad, as long as you have a common high good or high goal that you want to accomplish, if you accomplish that goal, people are willing to ignore you being bad to get to that goal. But if you don't obtain that goal that's for the betterment of the company or business or whatever, then people will be looking at you like, oh man, he did all this stuff and he didn't even get it. It's kind of like, to compare it, politicians will dirt sling, mud sling, all this to get to that goal of being Senate, President, whatever it may be. And we overlook their mudslinging because we're like, this is what it is. Some people do it, some people don't. But the ones who don't get it, then we look at them and be like, look at him, all that mudslinging he did, he didn't even get this. So it's a lot of chapters in the book that touch on things that you need to hear for your mind, hear that equate to your workplace, equate to things going on in life, and it can empower you in so many different ways to be a better businessman and entrepreneur. So a recommendation for y'all, definitely go get the 50th Law of Power, go get the audio book and the book as well too. So anyways, we pulled up to the trap, we're here, so you know how it goes. We'll talk later on the ride home, and remember, keep living your life, because if you don't, your life is not going to live you.